Football fans, Gooners, this is Shutter, your host, and Blackburn George of the Positively Arsenal blog. You might look at my background, I'm away from home, so if I'm stumbling more than usual, it's because I'm not in my usual environs. But George, the show must go on, and today we're going to preview the Arsenal Newcastle game. And I themed it, George, two managers with something to prove. I'm not sure many people realize this, but Arteta has a lot to prove. If we go, if we are to reflect on that magnificent article by A.H. Lemons earlier this week, this is a man who has the sixth or fifth most expensive football squad on planet Earth, and given £250 million to spend since he's been at the club, and where he needs to show some results. And we have Eddie Howe coming into this job, Newcastle, Saudi Arabia, largest producing oil kingdom in the world, and he needs to prove his worth if he's going to spend all his money. Are you seeing it that way, George?
And I don't think it's that simple. I mean, do they have anything to prove this weekend?
Well, why are you putting my simplicity down? Go ahead, George.
Well, they don't have anything to prove this weekend, do they? They might have to prove themselves in the long run, but not on Saturday. It's just another game, isn't it?
Yes.
Are they at the bottom of the league, Newcastle?
Yes, they are.
Haven't got a win yet.
Nope.
So if we can't win this at home, then we are in trouble. And we're not sure to win this either. I mean, they score more goals than us.
15. And we have scored 13.
So they're more liable to score than us. Statistically, I mean, our statistics are shocking. So although it should be easy, I mean, we're fifth, they're 20th. There should be a discrepancy miles apart from them, but we're not. We're not. We're 19th. We're 19th in some stats, 20th in some others. So it's probably a close game.
George, when you say 19th, we are 5 goals from open play. 19th in the league, George. It's. I mean, this is Arsenal. Last time I said, I swore I don't want to. This is 19th, George, and the goals from That's
but
are we just piling on?
We're fifth. That's all you look at. When we were 17th. You didn't look at that. You looked at other things. But now we're fifth. We only look at the position in the league table. We cherry pick. It comes back down to it. I don't care what people say, what stats they want to look at, how they want to regard being fifth, how young the team is. I don't care what you want to look at it is. What I want to look at is the football. And when I watch the football, it's awful. And it's as simple as that. The football is bad. Everything else is just white noise. Watch the football and tell me it's not bad, and I'll call you a liar. It's fucking shocking. And it's been shocking for over 12 months.
George, why? What? Okay, there are people who only care about the results.
Of course.
But
unless the results are going against you, unless it's results against Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, then they don't want to look at results. Then they want to look at something else. Then they want to look at progress. Then they want to look at culture change. Then they want to root up their arse and find some other excuse for the day. I mean, I read the other day, And I was reading it everywhere how Arteta's improved the defense.
Yeah,
I think we're 20th in
in expected goal difference.
XG goals difference. 20th. That means our defense is shocking. And Ramsdale is working miracles.
That's right.
They've improved the defense. And then they said, well, and I said, how does that work? We're fucking shocking. Look at this XG. Oh, yeah, but, well, yeah, XG doesn't count. Well, it counts.
When you
and
want
then
it.
We'll say, but, and some guy said to me, but we get results are much improved against the bigger teams. I said, fucking hell. The bigger teams? You mean like City, Liverpool, Chelsea that have trounced us this year? Our results fucking better against them. And then we'll go, but we beat Liverpool in the league like last year. Yeah, when the year before, when they'd won the league and they were on holiday the next day. You know,
right.
It's fucking pathetic. Oh, we beat City in the fucking
run up to the FA Cup final.
But the reality is the results against the bigger teams are shocking. We haven't beat anybody in the league who's placed above 10th when we played them. We haven't beaten anybody who was above 10th place in the league when we played them. How is that doing better against big teams?
George, it seems as if we are repeating what we've said last week, the week before, and the week before, and the week before.
Yeah, because it's not changing.
No, that's true. The thing that I want you to comment on is what are people missing? I know that there are a few people who are missing some things because they are playing past YouTube videos of when we scored goals for fun, swept from back to front, with purpose, passes like 10, 12 passes exchanged, and we finally scored the penalty area. I know there are a few people. Why is that? Why do people suddenly think that is something that is not replicable by Arteta? I guess that's the way I want to put it. Why?
Well, basically because it's not replicable by Arteta.
That's a stunning statement, George. I kind of chuckled, but that's a stunning statement.
Well, it's true. He doesn't even try to play that way. That's not the attempt he's making. That's not within the patterns of play that he's trying to get the team to play. We'll never play that way if we don't try and play that way, and we don't try and play that way. It's all fucking shifting it out to the wing and we've been through all this before. It's just
right.
But as far as you're asking, what are people missing? What are they not seeing? In fairness, they will ask you that same question. What are you not seeing? What am I not seeing? There is improvement. It's a long journey, but we're in the right direction. Why can you not see this? They're asking us why we can't see it, just like we're asking them, what the fuck are you seeing? It's
George.
It's just like we're in like in the trenches, and nobody's going into no man's land. It's either you're in this trench or you're in the other trench. We're either progressing at a rapid rate under the magnificent Mikel Arteta, or we're sliding down to obscurity under the absolutely crap Mikel Arteta. There doesn't seem to be any in between. There's no nuance at all.
George, did you do people? I wonder how many people read A.H. Lehman's article. I don't. I think.
Well, I think 3 had read it before.
Yeah, right. But there's another where 19th in non-penalty goal difference, meaning I think you might have mentioned it, meaning that they've peppered us. The defending that has supposedly improved, and only Ramsdale has kept us out because these were, in other words, by the metric, these were expected goals. 19th next to Norwich, only Norwich beneath us, and you say that our defending has improved? George, I said this, I will say this again. This is we're repeating ourselves, but I have to repeat myself. I said against Leicester in my match report with you, and you know what I'm going to say. That
Yeah, but
after we scored the second goal, and they got to grips with us. You remember that's when Ramsdale got all this praise. I said we were hammered. You're just defending. Your goalkeeper is your man of the match by a far stretch. That's not telling you something that can't last, George. How can it?
it can't last. No, but the other on the opposite side, they will tell you, "Oh, goalkeeper's part of the team. We've not conceded, therefore it must be good defending." This is the logic. We haven't conceded many goals, therefore we are defending well. Whereas I would take the opposite view and say we're conceding a lot of chances, 19th, the second worst team in the league at conceding chances, therefore we are not defending well. So with the same stats and the same results, you can draw two completely different conclusions. And one's right and one's wrong, according to whoever's interpreting the facts.
Well,
And
George, but
clearly we think we're right, but they'll think they're right as well.
well,
But my point is, and it's always the same point, and always come back, the underlying stats will eventually determine results. It's absolutely mathematically impossible that you continue playing like this and overachieving with results. It just cannot happen. It's never happened in the history of football, and it won't happen for Arsenal either.
well, George, the only difference I'd have with you, I'm gonna have a difference with you on this, is that perhaps you can get away with it for a year or two, like Bournemouth did on Eddie. And this is the point that we want to discuss Bournemouth and Eddie Howe for and this in this stream. He brought them up and kept them up for 3 years, but his teams couldn't score. They've had a lot of what did Wenger call it, sterile possession. They had nice even people to the point where the certain big bloggers and their idiot followers, because only an idiot would begin to say things like this. I'm sorry, I'm not apologizing here. Started saying that Eddie Howe should replace Wenger. Did you remember that? And but the point is,
yeah, but to be fair, I wish he had.
George. Well, he has something to prove now. This is my point. This is the theme of the because he had a team that he brought from the championship, never had a lot of money, a small stadium. You know what I mean, George? Always having to wheel and deal every season. But the possession was not, he couldn't score, just like well, I don't want to go there with any sexy-oriented jokes. But he was not an offensive, they were not an offensive force. The build-up was nice, but they couldn't finish. Can he get this team to play any better? Newcastle to be, well, they scored 15 goals, but perhaps his biggest challenge is preventing them from leaking goals, because they leaked like 20 something goals.
Yeah, but I think that's a little bit hypocritical of us, because you say that about Eddie Howe. Not, he played this beautiful football and it had no cutting edge, basically.
Correct.
We couldn't transform from dominating games to winning games.
Right.
A bit like Graham Potter at Brighton.
Yes.
And the reason for that is they don't have top-class goal scorers to finish the moves.
Absolutely. You're right.
They're restricted by the standard of the finishers.
Yes.
We're not restricted by the standard of our finishers. We've got two of the best finishers, and one of the best finishers in Europe over the last 10 years.
Well, Lacazette was banging them in France, George.
Absolutely, right, left and centre.
Yes.
And he'll still have a good conversion rate if you make him any chances. So I think Eddie Howe has now got some players that can score. Is it Josh King,
And Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson, Sam Maximan?
Yeah, oh, Massa Maxima.
You know,
Joe
these
Linton
guys,
when he
these
Joe Linton
these
when he's
guys can
lucky.
score.
Eli-
Joe
Joe,
Willock,
yeah?
Joe Willock.
Yeah, well, he hasn't scored anything this season
No,
so
but
far.
they have guys that can score. He has
Yes.
players that can score now.
Yes.
So if he can get hold of the ball, as he did at Bournemouth, and he now has the players who can put the ball in the back of the net, then he's got a chance, because isn't that what it's all about? Controlling the ball, progressing the ball, and then finishing it. And if you can't do any one of those three things, you're in trouble. We can't control the ball. We can't progress the ball. But I think we can finish.
Yes.
But it's our strikers that are getting blamed for us not scoring. So for some mad reason, we're blaming Saka, Aubameyang, and Lacazette for not scoring when they're not given the opportunity to score by the rest of the team.
George.
It's the most misunderstood logic. It's madness.
George, pause there. Pause there. 19th in big chance created. Just this is not Arsenal, George.
Yeah, 19th. But 19th. And who are we blaming? The guys who are not getting the chances created.
Exactly.
How does that work? How can somebody look at that and think the reason we're not performing well is because Arteta hasn't got his own players yet up front? This is another, they're going back to the old excuse. He needs his own player. He's stuck. He's stuck with one of the best finishers in Europe for the last 10 years, and another very proficient striker, and one of the best young wingers in the country that's starring for England these days. And he's stuck with them. Poor Mikel. They can't score. No, they can't score. They can't. If you don't have the ball, you can't score. It's like I always say, I've never seen a team concede unless the opposition has the ball. Do you know what I mean? If you keep the ball, they can't score. Well, it's the opposite. If you can't give the strikers the ball, they can't score. And at the moment, we just can't give the strikers the ball in dangerous positions. And you can't blame them for that. You just can't.
And let's go.
They're proven strikes quality, top quality strikers. Anyway.
And George, in that regard, you see, we have 5 goals from open play. 5 goals.
And 2 of them are deflected goals, by the way.
And I understand that somebody's making the point that the penalty that Auburn missed that against Villa, and he followed up and scored, is one of the goals from open play. It is counted as a goal from open play. That which would make sense. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's only because Martinez pushed that ball, it didn't go the way he wanted to. But that aside, George, we expected to hammer Newcastle. The manager is new. I've been reading.
Who expects
he's been trying to get to grips with them, but we don't expect. I'm sure that even though the Toon Army, the Newcastle fans, which from the day I started follow the Premier League closely, I thought they had this over large expectation of themselves, kicked out their the great coach Bobby Robson. I was like, yeah, you guys out of your mind. But I don't think that they'll be expecting anything out of this. If they do, then they're really more deluded than I thought. I think. But
no, I don't agree. I disagree. If I was Newcastle, I'd be licking my lips coming to fucking play Arsenal.
Well, no,
why not? Why not? There's no goal threat. They'll allow plenty of shots on our goal. Why would you be frightened of playing a team like that? They're not going to counter on you at pace and rip you to pieces. Why be frightened of Arsenal? Why would any team be frightened of Arsenal when they don't have a goal threat? They don't score goals, and they can't stop people taking shots at goal.
You're
Why would
stealing my
you
march,
find the
George.
pass?
You're stealing my march because I was going to say that he would be taking a good look at how Newcastle neutralized us, our midfield, and be
Newcastle.
thinking, I can put four inside there, match up with their 4-2-2 or 4-1, 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1, cut off the passing lanes, and even restrict, try to restrict Arba and Lacazette from getting any chances at my goal. Do you think Arteta will go back to that formation? We haven't got an inkling of that from the presser.
I have no idea what he fucking thinks. I mean, what did Pep Guardiola do this week?
well,
He played,
against
he
PSG,
played, he played a false nine, didn't he?
yes, but we don't play with a false nine. We tried
No.
it and then
What we do when we get to a Europa League final,
yes,
or semi-final, or whatever it was.
that was because Xhaka was missing and he had to tinker with it.
Well, it's always got an excuse for his fucking about, hasn't it?
Yes,
You know, you don't know what he might fucking do, because it looked like it was working for half an hour or so when we fell on 4-4-2. It really hasn't worked that well since, has it?
didn't work against Watford. Watford, this 1-0. I mean, we had chances and a goal disallowed and penalty saved. But it was
Anyway,
more physical contest, George.
it's not working to the extent where you can be sure that we're going to go 4-4-2. You know, he keeps taking Alba off around the hour mark and putting Martin Odegaard on. He's invested in Odegaard. He must want to get him back in the team sooner rather than later.
There was some PR piece about him. You can always get an inkling of what's going on because these websites that do PR for the club are promoting Odegaard and saying he needs time, blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, maybe they want to promote him.
Anyway, my point is I have no idea what he'll do. Absolutely no. If I was guessing, he would go 4-4-1-1. Aubameyang and Lacazette would play, and Saka and Smith Rowe again. That's what would be my guess. Probably bring Tierney back.
Yes, for Nuno because he's a golden boy.
And maybe start Ainsley and Maitland-Niles instead of Sambi Congo. That would be my guess. But he could do anything, couldn't he?
Yeah, well, but it's at home and it should be, the crowd will be behind us, obviously, and he would be thinking that this is an easy win. But the players for Newcastle, and this is what I would like to share with the fans. This is not anything revolutionary here, guys, but they'll be up for it. The new manager is working them hard. He's gonna tell them that this team is impotent.
Yeah, he's also not there.
Pardon me, George?
The new manager also isn't there. He's got COVID.
Is there. He's there. Say that again.
He's got COVID. He's not.
No. He recovered. He's back. He took training this week.
Did he?
Yes, he did. The boy there, the midfielder, the ball-headed one there, oh geez.
Shelby.
Huh?
John Joe
Shelby. I saw a piece there with him there where he was saying he's working them to death and he's gone to bed by 8 p.m.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he's there though, does it?
No, he is. He's back. Well, I paid some attention to their articles. I did read it. Don't think because I can't remember names I don't remember things. The stuff that I read. No, he's back. He'll be out
take your word for it then.
Yeah. No, they'll be ready. They'll be, but they're a limited squad though, George. I mean,
they're not as bad as the position in the league.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
They're not. We've got some good players. They've got some players that would walk into our team anyway.
Who do you think? Saint Maxima? He's
Oh,
exciting.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, he's exciting to watch, George. He, by the way, he
And
has the most
tell
carries.
you what,
Yeah,
John Joe Selva is better than Boyd Party.
yeah, but he's a more attacking midfielder.
Well, is he?
Well, they play him deep, but he reminds me of a deep line
Uncle
playmaker.
Fester.
Huh?
Reminds you of Uncle Fester.
Yeah, but John Joe is just too inconsistent.
Hot-headed.
And he gets hot-headed. I mean, he's getting older, but I think his English pretensions have passed. He's not gonna get back into England. I don't see where it's going. George, let's not drag this out. This is likely. I mean, we're odds on to win. But my concern in the theme that I shared is Arteta has to prove that he can improve this team. He has the sixth most expensive team in the world. 6. And 5 goals from open play in 12 games. Come on, George. Can't he do better? A rhetorical question, and you don't
Can't
think
do fucking worse, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I just think people are thinking that we're gonna win, because it's Newcastle, because we're at home. And I just keep thinking at the back of my head, these underlying stats are going to come back and bite us on the arse. We can't keep getting away with it. Instead of getting the luck for us, if it goes against us, we're going to start losing to teams like Newcastle.
At some point.
Yeah. And I can't see any reason to think that we're going to dominate tomorrow's game and blow them away. We should win. We have better players. But our underlying stats are probably worse than theirs.
Well, they can't defend. Well, obviously they can't defend for Toffee.
It could be a close game. It could go either way.
I agreed. We're not going to. I agreed with one respect, George. At some point, your underlying statistics gonna catch up with you. At some point, some is gonna work against you, not in favor of you. And so far, it's been working in favor of us. But the mean reversion is a law of nature. So, before we go, George, what do you make of the Mikel's appeal and his it's not even protestations, but his view, his argument, his putting forth the view, not a view, George. He's putting forth the argument that they have asked Wenger to return. I'm trying to put it because he put it in a very positive way. If you see me hesitating, it's because it is more than just wondering if Wenger will return. He made the point that we're trying to get him to return. What do you make of that?
It's all PR, absolute bullshit. I said, I don't know if you remember, but I said quite some time ago, the next move they will make is try to hitch themselves to Arsene Wenger's wagon. This was maybe 12 months ago. I said they'll start trying to bring him back, trying to get the goodwill that's returning behind his name and try and use that for the club. Arteta tried it when he came back saying that he'd been in touch with Arsene and had been getting advice from him. And Arsene said that was a lie. He hadn't.
That was late last season, right?
Yeah, he absolutely refuted it. Mm-hmm. And now he's saying, and he used such words as like, we want to get him involved.
Right?
What the fuck does that mean? What's involved, my friend? Do you want him to come for a cup of tea at a board meeting? Do you want him to come and sit in the stands and watch a game? Do you want to be able to ring him up and ask him his advice? Do you want him to tell you who to buy? What is involved? It's so open-ended a word that it allows people to put their interpretation of what they are expecting the club to do with Arsene Wenger because he's going to be involved. But if involved means that he's going to come for a cup of tea 3 months on Wednesday for 10 minutes, that's not a fucking lot, is it? You know.
No, and of course,
And that could be all it is, Shotter. You know, oh, and we've put up a photograph of him with his hand up so we can high five him. Well, why not go the whole hog and put just above his right hand, this is the Emirates, so as they can fucking tap that at the same time.
yes.
It's so PR fucking bollocks. The man has made it. I mean, he said the other week, his actual words were, "There is no reason for me to go back there. No reason. No fucking reason." Well, I'll tell you what it is. I can give you 20 reasons why you shouldn't go back there, Arsene, just off the fucking top of my head. And he knows he's not. What's he going to do? Come back to the place where they stabbed him in the back, be friends with people that fucking hung him out to dry for years, didn't back him, and when push came to shove, they shoved him under the bus. No, why would he do that? I think he's slowly realizing that he made a mistake staying after 2007. He should have gone. I think he now regrets not going because of how they treated him at the end. And why would he want to come back now in any meaningful way? I mean, they might want him to get back in some unmeaningful way, like, oh, we're unveiling a statue for you. Will you come and pull the cord? That's probably more likely than anywhere. He's going to be a director of football or an ambassador or an advisor. He's not going to do any of those things, in my opinion. And he would be mad to. He needs to stay away from them, stay away from the club, and not allow himself to fucking pull them along on his shirt tails any longer.
But you know, they want to. Well, let me restate that, George. It was amazing how within minutes of that statement by Arteta, let's call it a statement, which was very open-ended, as you see. We have all the usual PR pieces on Twitter in particular saying, "Oh, it's such a great idea." And by the way, it's not just our PR people. There are lots of fans, some of them who support this uncensored and Arsenal broadcast, who says a great idea. But if you think about it, what is it? As you say, it's an open. What would it do to Wenger's reputation?
Well,
what is the club? The club. In other words, is the club going to change direction by bringing him there? Is Arteta going to allow him to guide and direct him?
Absolutely not. No,
Right.
of course not. It's madness that people are putting their own spin on what that simple fucking statement meant. Oh, we want him to be more involved. I bet they do, because he's been gone 3.5 years and he won't fucking come near the place. That's screaming out, "You shower of cunts." That's what he's shouting out to them. "You can fuck off." That's what they shout. He's shouting it out to them.
Yes.
And they must be thinking by now, it's getting a bit embarrassing, this 3.5 years, and the greatest manager and the head of global FIFA doesn't even want to fucking come and say hello. Nah, let's get him involved. Let's put out some PR. It's sad. It's a sad development, and people are falling for it, like they fall for every other bit of bullshit. Like they fell for the assault on Mesut Ozil's character. You know,
and I don't know. You know, this is what I'm trying to get at. Why it's so hard? Why is it so hard for people to see through this? I guess it. I mean, it's.
But you see, they'll sell you. It's again going back to the same point. Other people see exactly the same as us. They've read the exact same quotes. They've seen Mikel Arteta on camera saying exactly the same things, and they've drawn an entirely different conclusion. And they will believe that they're right. We'll see. We'll see.
Well,
and I think the next move they'll make is to announce that there's going to be a statue to Arsene Wenger. and they'll hope to hell that he doesn't snub them and he'll come and unveil it. That'll be
And
the
then
next thing. Mark my words.
yes, and then they'll try to live, under after the reflected glory.
Absolutely.
Papa will come, Josh will come over. The whole management will be
Yeah.
taking pictures
And
with
they'll
him.
try and make you forget what they did to him 3.5 years ago.
Right, and try to rewrite history, and they do it all the time,
Absolutely.
including the media, who was a part of the whole thing. And all those
Absolutely.
guys, by the way, all those websites, YouTube channels, bloggers, whatever, who helped to drive him out. And this is the thing that amazes me, because
Every twat under the sun.
right, you said Wenger out. You shit all over Mesut Ozil as much as you can, despite the fact that he has the greatest assist record at the club and could still be assisting today. Might not be at the same level, obviously. And you're the same one talking about how culture and values have changed. But then all of a sudden you're telling me that you want Wenger to return. You're a fucking hypocrite.
They want him to return with his culture, with his values, because we fucked it up since he left. They need those back because everybody can see it now. Everybody can see what we are now.
And it's obvious, George, and this is part of the problem. I'm going to try to wrap this in a minute. That none of these people have really recanted. They haven't said, we made an error. They have not.
No, they won't. They won't. They'll double down.
But they want to bring Wenger back in some sort of honorary capacity to say, see, well, he's supporting this direction we're going. That's what they want. It's just, it's not meaningful. It's just simply to symbolically say, well, and Wenger is not stupid. He knows that he wants you to come and give him blessing for something that is not working. Can't you see that? Oh, well, that's how I see that, at least.
That's how I see it as well. So
but politicians do this all the time. And
let's wrap it up, Shotter, before you blow my mind.
Yes,
I can't stand it.
Thank you, George.
I can't stand the way they're using arson again.
Yes, we're doing this all over again, I guess. George, let's wrap it up. Thank you very much, George.
Okay, good luck to everybody. Let's hope we win on Saturday.
Yes, and let's hope that. Well, we should win on Saturday, but don't be surprised if
we don't.
That's what we don't. If Newcastle puts up a real strong struggle, but I think it should be. It's a game too early for them at least. George, bye.
Okay, see you later, bud.